So although it seems as if almost every day we are being pulled in 1,000 different directions, we remain calm, cool, and collected, allowing our resolve to reside within a centralized area, within our own ingenuity. This ingenuity allows us to weather the storm that may be presented before us, or rather pelted upon us, reminding us of the centralized power of God within us, to stop a centralized government, decentralizing the corrupt power wielded by the evil hearts of people, the evil hearts of men. Mankind has created much and deceived so many by allowing masses to be coddled and persuaded by laziness and fear. We, centralized by the power of God, will face that fear and eat it for breakfast. That is what we do. Appreciate anyone who wants to listen to me rant about this. In this very week, I was actually just rewatching the series Fargo, which takes place in North Dakota, which is even just more baffling to me. This just blows me away. But this is precisely where Grand Forks, North Dakota, and Pembina County, North Dakota are. These are two places that are very relevant to, very relevant to just this whole week. It's very crazy. So China has purchased this area, Grand Forks. Okay, in Pembina County, North Dakota, this is what Bill Gates purchased. They're an hour and 14 minutes away. 40 or 50 miles. So it's just a few miles away, and as we can see, Bill Gates' piece of land is right near the border. But they're so close, and both of these purchases happened this week, or at least last week, or within, however long it took. So we have Bill Gates, who of course was able to somehow win this. And I remember Vincent James was reporting on this about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and he was reporting on this detail. Bill Gates is buying American land, and so is China. Farmer Gates is already the largest private owner of farmland in the U.S., with 270,000 acres already owned across dozens of states, including 69,000 acres in Louisiana, 47,000 acres in Arkansas, and 25,000 acres in Arizona, 20,000 in Nebraska, 16,000 in Washington State. So it's just endless. I mean, this guy cannot stop. He's a hungry hippo with a design, with a grand design. That grand design, who knows? But this is Grand Forks. This is the area that was purchased by China. And China purchased that just recently, so we're going to get into that right now. Several people were, of course, up in arms about it. Local police and FBI visit home of top opponent to new China-owned North Dakota corn mill after she posts paragraph from Declaration of Independence on social media. And so keep in mind, this is the area that they were upset about, Grand Forks. This is the area right here, just a few stones throw away from Bill Gates's new crib, so to speak. The group is called the Fu Feng Group, not the Blue Bitch Group, not the Blue Man Group. The Fu Feng Group recently purchased 300 acres of farmland in North Dakota. Farmland is just 20-minute drive from Grand Forks Air Force Base. So of course that's why people are up in arms, because China's directly they're buying property right near an Air Force base, and which is apparently there's drone technology there that could be stolen. The Fu Feng Group also purchased a corn mill near Grand Forks. Local citizens are rightly concerned with this new project in their own backyard. The local Grand Forks City Council members are very upset with leading opponents to the Fu Feng corn mill project. They have even lashed out at skeptics online. Since January, Kennedy has closely followed Fu Feng Group, posting a follow-up blog in March. He argued that the project still hadn't been vetted properly and that the benefits to local farmers are overstated. He hammered local leaders for downplaying the plant's links to China. He's made a slew of media appearances since then, but as Kennedy has spoken out against the project, Grand Forks leaders have grown frustrated with what they see as wild speculation has fueled opposition in the community. And given the situation that we're in, I think not. It's not wild speculation. Excuse me, this just reassures what my husband and I have been saying since Obama's first year in office, that the Republicans are hand in hand with communist Democrats. It's time for a new party to emerge. And of course, not that would happen, of course, but this was direct in accordance with, this is the post that got the FBI coming to our house. Sorry, folks, but our major brand Brandon Bochensky is not supporting the Constitution of the United States of America nor North Dakota State Constitution. I have removed my comment about the Declaration of Independence as the tyranny of that seemed to offend some people. We have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. When a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under the absolute despotism, oppressive absolute power, it is our right, our duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for future security. Bill Gates already owns so much, and of course, what is he going to do? He's going to... The reason why they allowed him to even purchase it in the first place was because he promises to use it for farming. At least that's what that's what they say. But he might be farming mosquitoes to feed to all of us later on. But the only reason why he won this debacle, because he did fight him for a while. Bill Gates just won legal approval to buy 2,100 acres of North Dakota farmland worth $13.5 million. And keep in mind, this is just crazy. They're really close by. I mean, we're talking 77 miles. 77 miles from each other, not too far away. And, it could just be a coincidence. It could be coincidental, but the simple fact that we have two large corporations that don't have the best interest of the American people purchasing farmland, it is scary. We need to have some base people starting to purchase this up. I mean, Elon Musk should be purchasing farmland against him. That's really what he should be doing. Because if he doesn't recognize that digital sphere might die soon, that he... Okay, so the reason why Bill Gates actually won this in the first place was the simple fact that because he promises to use it for farming. He has to lease it to farmers. Gates' purchase of the farmland in North Dakota initially raised concerns because of a Depression-era law that prohibits corporations and limited liability companies from owning farmland in the region. And so North Dakota's agriculture commissioner, Gehring, previously told the radio station, a television station back in Bismarck, North Dakota, that many people weren't thrilled about the news, of course. And of course, they've got people, from, of course, he emphasizes that they're not from the, from the neighborhood, etc. And everybody's complaining, oh, they should be able to do this. It's just, you don't understand. These people are not trustworthy. And so that's why people are worried about it. They're concerned because people are actually waking up now. Maybe even 2 or 3 years ago, people would not have even batted an eye. But we see what's happening now. People are starting to see. Anti-corporate farming law does allow an individual trust to own farmland if it is leased to farmers, and that's what Gates' firms plan to do. I'm sure. What is he going to farm? Cloned sheep with bat heads with Fauci. It's just crazy that he's just adding more and more farmland to his roster, and people should be up against this. Let's see what this fucker has to say here.
Farm where they have output, or a company where they make products. To have an asset class that's 100% based on sort of greater fool theory that somebody's going to pay more for it than I do, and where it has at its heart sort of this anonymity that you avoid taxation or any sort of government rules about kidnapping fees or things. Yeah. Anyway,
kidnapping fees? What the?
I'm not involved in that. I'm not long or short any of those things.
And there you have Bill Gates, of course. TechCrunch, the sister publication of Yahoo Finance, and good for Bill Gates for keeping.
Fuck all of y'all. You have no idea what the fuck is coming. You useless fucking drones. After obtaining a secured legal approval of the Red River Trust Company to purchase the 2,100 acres of farmland for the $13.5 million in 2 counties from North Dakota potato growers, Campbell Farms, the deal was thrust under scrutiny. Note that this is just for farmland. The leader private ownership of land, regardless of use, in total is the American chairman of Liberty Media, John Malone, who owns 2.2 million acres. While Gates' farmland holdings are impressive, it only accounts for just about 1% of the 900 million acres of total farmland in the country, which is good that he only owns a small percentage, but it's just that the amount of damage, like with 1%, imagine if he starts trickling in and starts buying up others. That's where we really got to start to worry about it, because this bastard is not on our side. He is literally a foreign agent that has been given way too much power. The purchase of land in North Dakota has raised legal questions as well as concerns that ultra-rich landowners do not share the state's values. The purchase and sale had already raised the hackles of the North Dakota residents who wondered why the potato farm owners, the Campbell family, had filed a partnership name certificate in February of 2022 with the Secretary of State, renaming their farming operation as Red River Trust, which is the same name as the purchasing firm owned by Bill Gates. So Kennedy has spoken out against the project, and this is the one that is in Grand Forks, which is the Chinese owned area now. Leaders have grown frustrated with that wild speculation that fueled opposition to the community. Some Grand Forks leaders have grown frustrated with what they see as wild speculation that fueled opposition to the community. Some have publicly wondered about Kennedy's motives, even skirmishing with him on social media. And it's like, the people that are skirmishing with him have no clue what's really going on. They just don't know. They just don't know the threat. They don't know the potential. They don't know what's actually going on. They're not paying attention. And so that's what they're all banking on, is not paying attention. Okay, Grand Forks Police and FBI on Thursday visited the home of Jody Carlson, a leading opponent of a new corn mill to be owned by the China-based Fufeng Group, following up on a social media post quoting the Declaration of Independence that mentioned the overthrow of the government. The authorities ultimately found no cause for concern. A police report states the incident had provoked an angry response from opponents of the corn mill project, many of whom are the part of concerned citizens of the Fufeng project in Grand Forks, groups where the activity took place. This is a group that is fighting against government overreach and promoting the voices of the people who live in the community. But law enforcement concern about Carlson's Facebook activity is also an indication of how intense the debate from the Fufeng group has become in Grand Forks. Yeah, I don't think so, because when law enforcement gets involved, they've been doing this for so long. We've watched them do it in England several times and Australia for just posting about. So people have had their houses raided because of things they said online. And so for them to visit actually isn't that surprising, for her to get a visit from law enforcement, because we kind of knew that was coming. We kind of knew that that's going to be a trickle in here, and we're here to put a stop to that. The agribusiness's interest in a North Dakota facility was announced in November, and its arrival has been marked by extreme skepticism over Fufeng's roots in China, which has sparked strong resistance from critics of the project.